better bet that I'm on it. Ready and set, I'ma own it. Blast it to 10, then keep going. There ain't no coasting, I never settle, don't play. Putting the kettle to flame. I go 100 all day. Foot on the pedal, no brakes. 10, 9, paid on my dues, waited in line. 8, 7, now it's about time that I take mine. 6, 5, king of the jungle, heart of a lion. 4, 3, 2, 1, watch out, here I come. This is my time. I'm on the rise, can't hold me down, I'm too fly. This is my time, ready to shine, brighter than all of the lights. Guess when it's game time.
Hey, welcome in, race fans. It's Thursday night. That means we are racing APEX This GT3 series. This week we travel to sunny Florida, Sunrise, Florida to be particular, or Sebring, Florida. Getting my racetracks and hockey teams mixed up here. We're in sunny Sebring, Florida, as our drivers are going to challenge the world-famous Sebring International Raceway, one of the most iconic racetracks in North American sports car racing. Qualifying just getting underway. The drivers are out there putting in their out laps, warming up their tires the best they can, although checking track temps earlier on, I don't think they're going to need a whole lot of help to warm up the tires. It's toasty out there. It's going to be more a matter of trying to conserve their tires the best they can here tonight, I think. We're just doing our usual 2 20-minute heat races. Usual inverting of the top 10 drivers for heat number 2. As usual, car in P10 will start on the pole for heat number 2. So we're waiting for the first couple drivers to put in some times here. Let's take a quick look, as I mentioned, at our temps out here tonight. We got 77 degree Fahrenheit air temps, but look at that track temperature, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That is toasty. Our drivers are going to have to manage their tires, even though it is only a pair of 20-minute sprint races here. That means they're going to be pushing as hard as they can, try and make up spots as quickly as they can, which could actually mean that they could overheat their tires and burn through them quicker than they normally would when they're trying to save them and manage them. A little more for a 40, 45 minute or even an hour long race, which we've done in the past. So we ride along here with Troy Banks. Troy still finishing up his first hot lap as he's heading into Sunset Bend for the first time. Let's follow Troy around here as he's going to come around to finish up his first lap. Let's see what kind of time he is able to put on the board. See Troy crossing under the bridge. He's going to put in his first time here. Let's see what he's got. Oh no, sorry, Troy is on his out lap. No, sorry, I thought Troy had already finished up his out lap and was putting in his first hot lap. So we'll wait a little longer for that. Well, we've got some time. Let's take a look at our Drivers' Championship. We've got our top 18 drivers here on the board. Currently, Kurt Moss having a strong start to the season. I say start, this is actually week 8 of 12, so 2 races a night, which means we've got, what do we got, about 5 weeks left, including this one, so 10 races total for our drivers to try and accumulate as many points as they possibly can. So you see right now, Kurt Moss leading us off with 1,975 points. Chad Sosnowski in second spot, followed by Brian Zinn, Troy Banks, Corey Mitchell rounds out the top 5 in the standings. Jonathan Cooper currently holding down 6th spot. He's got Justin Hall, Dan Elgin, Kent Kruger, and Russell Abraham behind them rounding out the top 10. And we got Tony Phillips in P11, followed by Craig Ream, Kelly Greenhoe, Roland Bykoff, and Mitch Bonaventura rounding out the top 15. Then we got Michael Hardy, Brian Lemke, and Bradley Elvis rounding out our top 18 in points. I believe we have about 35 drivers scoring points so far this season, but as we get a little further back into the standings, get some drivers who haven't quite made it out to as many of the races so far to really show a real fair projection of their season so far. As we jump on board here with Brian Zinn, who we saw up at the top of the championship standings. He'll be looking for a good showing out there tonight, trying to put some pressure on Kurt Moss and Chad Sosnowski at the top of the standings. But speaking of Sosnowski, he's currently got the quick lap of the day out so far in qualifying, 2 minutes flat. He's 900ths over Zinn right now. Zinn in second place. Championship leader Kurt Moss currently sitting in third to start off Heat 1. He's just under 2/10 back of Sosnowski. Real tight battle so far between our top 10 drivers, separated by just under 1 second between them. Jump on board here with Tony Phillips. Tony currently sitting in 7th place. Strong showing so far in qualifying for Tony. He's had a bit of a rough season so far, so Tony will be looking for a nice race tonight, try and turn around his luck. Corey Mitchell, we saw him placing just, I believe it was P5 in the championship standings. So Corey, another driver, looking for a strong showing tonight, try and make some gains on the championship leader, Kurt Moss. Corey currently scheduled to start in P4, 1 spot back Kurt Moss, so he'll be looking, as I say that, Justin Hall jumps up to the top of the qualification standings. That's going to move Kurt Moss, Corey Mitchell, Brian Zinn, Chad Sosnowski all down 1 spot. I'm going to have to check the times here. We're showing almost a dead heat between Justin Hall and Chad Sosnowski. Both running 2-minute flats, 0.66, separated by 1/1000th of a second right now. You don't get much closer than that out there. Time raring down. We got 2.5 minutes to go if our drivers aren't crossing the line here shortly. They're going to be running out of time to put in a lap. Dan Elgin currently sitting in 12th spot so far in qualification. Dan's had a pretty good race, or season so far. A couple incidents, few weeks here and there, but that's the glory of us running 2 points races a night. You can have one bad race and come right back and recoup it. Jonathan Cooper, Jay Cooper Electric. John currently sitting in 13th spot, just outside of the top 10. Russell Abraham driving a Ferrari, as well as Cooper, who we just saw, currently sitting in 15th spot. Troy Banks in his traditional flat black paint job. Troy currently rolling around in 17th spot. He'll be looking to improve on that. Michael Harney currently in 22nd with the Roxy paint job here, coming around the final corner, Sunset Bend. We'll watch him cross the line. We'll see if he's able to improve on his best time of a 202.66. See, he comes in with a 202.72. He's not going to improve. He's going to stay in currently 22nd spot. Craig Tester currently holding down 28th position. Craig crosses the line there with a 204.71. He's not going to improve on his 203.72. Jonathan Cooper trying to find some time to put in one more lap. I think he might run out of time though. Current pole sitter Justin Hall looks like he's abandoning his lap out there. Same with Joshua Soto. Let's check on Andrew McMurray. We haven't seen Andrew much this season. Currently sitting in 19th place. He's got the Taco Bell themed Ferrari out here tonight. I could go for some Taco Bell right now. These guys make me hungry with their paint schemes. A couple seasons back, we had battling snack foods, the Reese's Buttercups and the Team Oreo guys. Might see some guys, maybe somebody brings in McDonald's paint scheme, or maybe a little Burger King. We can have a battle of the fast foods between Taco Bell and McDonald's. So jump on board here with the big dog, Kent Kruger, currently in 21st spot. Hit with a 202.40. He's going to run out of time to put in one more lap, so he's going to have to settle with the time he's put on the board. So while our drivers are fueling up and putting on their race setup, let's see if we can see if we can catch a look at the starting grid. And we're a page too far. There we go. Justin Hall, he's going to start on the pole. Of Chad Sosnowski doing his outside. You can see there, those two drivers separated by not a tenth, not 100th, but 6/1000ths of a second. You don't get much closer than that. In row 2, they'll have Brian Zinn and Kurt Moss behind them. Kurt Moss, our championship leader. Corey Mitchell and Joshua Soto are going to make up round 3 in 5th and 6th. Behind them, we'll have Brian Lemke taking up P7. Sam Swan will take up P8. Rounding out our top 10 in row 5, we'll have Tony Phillips and Roman Bykov. In row 6, we're going to have Vincent Wood and Joseph Meyer to his outside. In row 7, we'll have Dan Elgin and Jonathan Cooper. In row 8, we're going to find Kelly Greenhoe and Carrick Ball. In row 9, we're going to find Russell Abraham and Troy Banks. Behind them, we're going to get into our 10th row, where we're going to find Andrew McMurray and Sean Giroux. In row 11, we'll find Kent Kruger, our chief admin, and Benjamin Syke. Row 12, we're going to find Michael Harney and Tyler Nevins. Just behind them, we'll have Mitch Benaventura in 25th, Dylan Furlong in 26th spot. Adrian Adams and Craig Tester are going to make up row 14. Row 15, we'll have Greg Brockway and Charlie Vaccaro, who did not set a time. We'll see if Charlie makes the grid. Same for Ismail Sierra, Brian Ewalt, Thomas Wright, Donald Mensing, Derek Tyndall, and the rest. So our bottom 6 drivers did not set times, but I'd say 5 out of those 6 usually show up even when they don't set a time. So our grid is set. Pace car is out. It looks like we are running a full pace lap here tonight at Sebring. So not only do we have toasty track temps out there, our drivers are going to have a full pace lap as well to get their tires up to temp, which shouldn't take too long. As we saw the track conditions real warm and toasty. While our drivers are pacing around, let's take a quick look, see if those conditions have changed at all. We're still holding steady at 77 degree air temp, but oh look, the track temp has come down a couple of degrees. We were at 110 for qualifying. We've dropped 4 degrees off. 106 is still scorching out there. These guys are still going to have to manage their tires the best they can to try not to burn them off early on.
I talked to my dogs. Told me, no, don't do that. Stop.
Shoot through that power tool, Cody.
So it looks like all of our drivers have hit the grid, except for Charlie Vaccaro and Ismail Sierra. So they're going to either be starting from the pits or not showing up tonight. So that's going to give us 33 drivers on track here tonight.
If my dog laid on my keyboard, I'm not sure it'd work after.
Sebring, a fairly large track. Plenty of room to fit all those drivers in there. Everybody should spread out nicely as we pace around here.
If you watch my broadcast replays, you can hear them barking.
Now,
that's what they do.
We got a couple seconds here. Let's take and mention our sponsors for this season. First up, APEX Sim Racing. You're looking for any kind of any kind of sim racing peripherals, wheels, pedals, button boxes, anything you can associate with your sim rig. Those are the guys you want to see. Find a link to them in the description below. Thank you, APEX Sim Racing. Next up, Full Speed Sim Coaching. Trying to find those extra few tenths or seconds to close that gap between your nemesis up ahead of you. Contact Full Speed Sim Coaching. They'll help you find those extra few tenths or thousandths that you're needing to be competitive. And lastly, John Cooper Electric, Jay Cooper Electric. One of our racers here, Jay Cooper, John Cooper. You got electrical questions, John will gladly help you find the answers to those problems. Find your links below for Jay Cooper. Okay, our field. We head through the Le Mans curve. That's going to lead them down the back stretch and into Sunset Bend. We're getting ready to go here. It's only a matter of time now as Chad Sosnowski and Justin Hall are front row. Lead them around behind the pace car, and then we'll be set to go for 20 minutes of get up and go in GT3. I'm glad to see we're racing in the daytime here this season. Far too often we come to Sebring and get stuck racing in the night races. Sebring's not too bad. They've got some reflectors set up around the track that you can see your headlights on and so forth. But man, it can get dark out there with no real lights. So we are on the front stretch here. We're just waiting for the green to drop, and there it is. We're off and away into turn 1. Chaz Sosnowski getting a good run around the outside. Let's see how it plays out into turn 1. You can hear our field coming. It's like Sosnowski's going to get around the lead. Justin Hall's going to try and fight back on the inside. So far, everybody gets through. Sosnowski up into P1. Hall's going to fall back to second. Kurt Moss moves up into third. He's trying to take up 2 spots if he can possibly can. Not the start Justin Hall wanted. He's bottlenecking up the field behind him now. We'll see if he's able to capitalize. Get his bearings back under him. Try and chase down Sosnowski up ahead as Sosnowski's already opened up 7/10 of a gap over Justin Hall. Just behind Kurt Moss, we've got a battle between Brian Zinn, and Joshua Soto. Soto in that purple Lamborghini, Zinn in the gray colored Porsche. So Zinn's going to take over P4 right now as he's down 1 spot from where he started. Joshua Soto up 1 spot as he's gotten around Corey Mitchell behind him in that red Audi. Again, 20-minute sprint here at top 10 will invert for race number 2. Roman Bykoff in the Coors Lightning machine. Roman currently sitting in 10th where he started. He's trying to chase down Tony Phillips and Dan Elgin up ahead. The drivers heading into Le Mans curve for the first time. Here you can see the track drivers weaving through. It looks like Benjamin Syke had an issue there. He's off on the side of the track. So he's going to get it collected up and moving back around.
Sorry, Troy.
See our field coming into Sunset Bend. Looks like we're barely nose to tail here. No real 2x2 as we go along. Everybody's kind of filed into place, trying to bide their time to make a move. And they also got to remember this is a 20-minute sprint. They don't have a whole lot of time. Normally, seasons past, we run 40-minute races where they kind of manage their machinery and their tires for the first 20 minutes or so, and then put a charge on the second 20 minutes. So they don't have that luxury this season. It's go, go, go from the drop of the green. It's like Justin Hall has got himself sorted back out here after his slower start to the race. He was just trying to manage his tires, cold tires to start off, starting to put a charge onto Sosnowski. That gap now just over half a second between them. Take a look a little farther back here in the field. We got Sam Swan in the blue, orange, and black Porsche. He's trying to chase down Vincent Wood just ahead. Sam's got Joseph Meyer and Kelly Greenhoe tucked up behind him. Behind Kelly, you've got Jonathan Cooper and Russell Abraham. Real tight. Got about 7-car train here. And John Cooper, our J. Cooper Electric sponsor for this season. John down 1 spot from where he started. He started in 14th. He's down to 15th. His spot was taken by Kelly Greenhoe just ahead. Cooper will be trying to find a way around Kelly to regain his starting position at 14th. Just behind Coop, we got Russell Abraham. Russ up 1 spot on the day. Currently holding down 16th spot. He's got Kent Kruger behind him. Kent's moved up 4 spots to start this one. Looks like Kent might have found the speed he was missing in qualifying as they head down the back stretch and into Sunset Curve. See our drivers come around underneath the tower. That'll bring them around to finish up lap number 3. So Coop's managed to, or sorry, not Coop, Kent's managed to close up on the back of Russell Abraham.
Off the wall.
Cooper, Abraham, and Kruger have fallen off that pack ahead of them a little bit. Well, Dan Elgin, a little bit of a slower lap, trying to recover. I think he might have rubbed the wall. He's fallen back into the clutches of Cooper. Cooper looking to his outside, trying to make a move around him. Dan's going to have to fight him back as they head into turn number 5 here, as we see the field just cycling through
I almost
here.
followed you into the wall. Yep.
Looks like Cooper's managed to get around Elgin. Elgin's going to try and fight him back here as they head into the hairpin. Cooper gets by. Now Elgin's going to fight off Russell Abraham behind him. Russell's going to try and capitalize too as well. Russ up 2 spots on the day now. Dan Elgin down 1 spot. Not the start that Dan wanted. I mentioned earlier he hasn't had a couple races to really remember here. He's trying to make up for that here tonight, but he's going to have to battle Russell Abraham and Kent Kruger. They're looking mighty hungry to take that spot away from him. Check back in at the front of the field. Sosnowski's managed to open up a little bit more of a gap over Justin Hall. Battle now 8/10 separating the two. Kurt Moss still holding down P3. He's about 7/10 back of Justin Hall. So our top 10 drivers have all single filed out here. They got a couple tenths gap in between the majority of them. Our real battles are a little farther back that we've just been following with. Although even that battle now has gotten a little more single file as Coop starting to leg it out over Elgin ahead. Jonathan Cooper setting his sights on Joseph Maher up ahead. See Joseph up ahead in that red Ferrari as Cooper's trying to chase him down in his red Ferrari. The battle of the red Ferraris here for P12. Right now, Sam Swan's currently our driver holding down the top 10 invert spot. That would give him pole right now for heat number 2 if he can hold on to that position. Sam's got Tony Phillips just under a second up ahead. Tony, you can see just out of the camera shot, a black and yellow Ferrari. Just behind Sam is Vincent Wood. Vincent is going to be chomping at the bit, trying to take that P10 spot away. He'd love to get that and start on the pole for race number 2. We got a battle here between Michael Harney in the orange Roxy paint job. He's got Mitch Bonaventura and Craig Tester going side by side up ahead. Craig in the black and yellow BMW, Mitch in the gray and on gray Porsche. Michael Harney, not sure who he wants to get behind, try and take the draft off. Not sure who's going to prevail in this one. It's like Bonaventura might have found the way around Tester. Harney going to try and sneak through too as well. Tesser trying to fight back on the inside. They've got Brian Ewald lurking in behind them, rating a pounce if something were to happen. Oh, Craig's going to lose 2 spots in that battle there as Harney and Ewald both get by. Mitch Bonaventura up 4 spots on the day now. That's going to take him just outside of the top 20. Currently in 21st. Next up in his sights is Sean Giroux. Sean we see here tucked up in behind Carrick Ball in the gray and blue PlayStation theme Audi. Sean's got Carrick Ball, Troy Banks, and I believe Andrew McMurray just ahead. This is a pack battling for 17th spot. Troy looking to the inside of McMurray as they head out of Sunset and onto the front straight. You see Kent Kruger, Dan Elgin, Russell Abraham. That battle just ahead. So we got a bunch of 3-4 car packs here, but they're only separated by half a second or so from the pack battle ahead of them.
Like 20 of you go at once. Oh boy.
Right now, McMurray able to hold off Troy Banks. Troy's looking very lurky back there, trying to find a spot. Mirroring. Oh, McMurray gets a little slide through that corner. Troy had to lift not to get in the back of him. Nicely done there by Troy Banks. Nice save. So we see them heading into the hairpin. We'll carry on. So far so good for Andrew McMurray. He's able to hold off Troy Banks, Carrick Ball. Troy falling back a little bit here. See if he's able to close in on the brake, and Troy going deep on the brakes. Murray was able to hold him off for now. These two both driving Ferraris, equal power and setup between them. Carrick Ball lurking behind in the BMW. See if that BMW can stretch its legs out on the straight. If it's got a little more horsepower, straight line speed over the Ferraris. The Ferraris might be a little more nimble in the corners though. Carrick putting a lot of pressure on the back of Troy Banks. We jump on board here with Carrick as you can see that battle between Troy Banks, Andrew McMurray up ahead. Oh, not sure who that was that we just went by off of the side. Possibly Vincent Wood. We'll have to take a look at that in a minute. This battle rages on. Jonathan Cooper now able to open up 2-second gap over Russell Abraham behind. Russ has managed to open up a bit of gap between Dan Elgin and Kent Kruger behind. Dan Elgin and Kent are starting to fall back into the clutches of Andrew McMurray here. See if we can see what happened to Vincent Wood just a moment ago in that Porsche. Vincent was sitting in P11 just outside the top 10. I mentioned that he was going to try and push to get that spot. See what happens in Le Mans curve. Just loses the back end ever so slightly, and around it comes on that Porsche. Fortunately, he's got to wait for the whole field to more or less go by before he can get back on track. It's unfortunate for Vincent. Let's take a look at what happened to Benjamin Syke earlier on. We saw him off on the side. So he's battling with Troy Banks as they come into the S's before the Le Mans curve. Oh, looks like Benjamin just came in there a little too hot. So he got into the back of Troy, but he managed to collect it up before he spun. That's where we saw him off on the runoff area. That could have went a whole lot worse for the two of them. So nice to see they were able to get it gathered up there and not have any real incidents so far. So that's really been our only 2 incidents so far in this race. It's been a real clean start. 12 minutes in, 8 minutes to go. See Kent Kruger and Dan Elgin still battling here for this for P14. They've got Andrew McMurray lurking not too far away. If something were to happen amongst these two, he's there ready to pounce. See who is in our P10 spot right now. It's still Sam Swan holding that spot down, although he's closing in on Tony Phillips. Let's see if Sam chooses to try and make a move on Tony, or if he's just going to try and maintain and hold down that 10th spot. He's currently got 2.5 seconds over Joseph Meyer, who occupies P11 right now. And Joseph in his rearview mirror, he's going to start seeing a little more of Jonathan Cooper as Coop's closed that gap down now. 2.3 seconds between Coop and Meyer. Tight battle so far, tight battle. Running over up front, still the same. We've got Chad Sosnowski leading the way. Chad with 3/10 over Justin Hall. Kurt Moss still holding down P3. Brian Zinn in 4th. Joshua Soto in 5th. Corey Mitchell drops down to 6th. And Brian Lemke still in P7, where he started. Roland Bykoff in P8, up 2 spots. Then we mentioned Tony Phillips and Sam Swan in 9th and 10th. Looks like Justin Hall is starting to put some pressure on Chad Sosnowski here as we're starting to get into the closing of Heat 1. You see the different choices of lines as they head into Tower Turn. See our leaders coming around here as they've got lap car Kelly Greenhoe not too far ahead. See if that plays into any strategy here. I'm not sure what happened to Kelly. We'll have to see if we can catch that later on. But Sosnowski holding off Hall so far.
You got more than me out of corners.
They've opened up a bit of a gap over Kurt Moss. Kurt Moss starting to feel some pressure from Brian Zinn now.
Yeah, Dan, even
those 2 Porsches holding down 3rd and 4th. Justin Hall lurking in behind Chad Sosnowski. 5.5 to go. We'll see if Chad's able to hold him off. That'd be probably about 3 laps.
He's doing a great job with it.
As they cross the line here. Looks like Mitch Bonaventura had an incident earlier. Oh, it looks like he just gets too hot coming in there. He's able to keep it off the wall. Nice save there by Mitch. Let's check back in with this battle up ahead as we jump on board with Justin Hall. We head deep into turn 3. Chad so far able to hold him off. We'll see if they come nose to tail into the hairpin. Looks like Justin Hall not making a move this time. Although he has closed that gap on the back of Chad Sosnowski down to, we're showing half a second, but it looks like it's closing a lot closer than that. Sosnowski able to leg it out over that infield section. It's like the Audi may have the superior braking. Porsche seemed to get out of the corners a little quicker than that Audi. Take a look back from Sosnowski. See Justin Hall lurking in the background there. See the slower corners. Looks like Chad's able to get in and out of them a little quicker than Justin can in his Audi. The Porsche just has a little more bite out of the corner with the rear motor. Well, this is actually more of a mid-motor setup now in the new car. Oh, Hall gets squirrely. So he bottomed out on the curb, had to collect that car up. That's going to cost him about a second or so. He was able to gather it up, but that's going to give Sosnowski a little bit of breathing room. So Joshua Soto might have went off track and behind here. Let's take a look at what happened. So he's come around Sunset Bend, gathers it up, keeps it off the wall, or does he? He does. Nicely done. Let's continue on. Looks like Zinn and Moss battling here. Moss going defensive on the inside turn one. Zinn powers around the outside. Brian Zinn going to take over P3. That's going to drop our championship leader, Kurt Moss, back into fourth spot. Oh, I see Zinn with a little bit of a connection issue there. Blanked out for a second. Looks like it's cleared itself up. Jonathan Cooper has caught up to the back of Joseph Marr now. Those two red Ferraris got about 3 minutes to battle for P11. Let's see the black Ferrari of Russell Abraham lurking in behind. Russ has managed to pull away from Kent Kruger in 14th spot. Sam Swan still hold down the 10th position, which would be our pole for Heat 2, as I mentioned. He's got Josh Soto up ahead of him. We saw Josh have to collect up that Lamborghini not too long ago. Was able to keep it off the wall and recover, still sitting inside the top 10. So nice recovery there for Josh so far. Justin Hall currently sitting just over a second back of Sosnowski in second spot. 2.5, just under 2.5 minutes to go. So our leaders are heading on to the back stretch here now. They should be getting the white flag this time by, so they will have one more lap to go. We'll check and see. Oh, Kelly Greenhill, the lap car, is going to move over, and it's a nice and gentlemanly move of Kelly there. Let our leaders through. Our leaders heading to Sunset Bend for the second to last time. So we jump on board with Sosnowski. We can see Barney waving the white flag as they cross through. This is the final lap. We'll see if Hall has anything to offer for Sosnowski. As they head into turn one, currently sitting just over a second back. The gap holding steady all throughout this lap. That might be too much of a gap to overcome in one lap for Justin Hall, barring any mistake by Chad Sosnowski.
I'll do my best.
It's like Brian Zinn was able to immediately open up a gap over Kurt Moss. Look at Kurt Moss riding that curb. He might have used up his tires, as I mentioned earlier, it being hot out there. They're going to have to try and manage them a little bit, even though it was a sprint race. He's got Corey Mitchell and Brian Lemke lurking behind him. 7/10 back. Corey licking his chops at an opportunity to get a little further inside the top 5. He'd love to get around Kurt and earn a little bit of points, close that gap in the championship. Currently our championship leader, Corey Mitchell, was sitting in P5 coming into this one. Chad Sosnowski opening up that gap a little more, just under 1.2 seconds. That might be all she wrote for Justin Hall's pursuit of the win here in Heat 1. With only a few corners left to go, it's going to be more or less all she wrote here for this one. Justin Hall gets a much better exit through Le Mans curve, but he's not going to have enough time to close in on Sosnowski up ahead. We head into Sunset Curve for the final time. As long as Sosnowski can keep the tires under him, he's going to have this one. There we go. Chaz Sosnowski takes heat number 1.
Right?
Justin Hall in second. Brian Zinn's going to bring it home third. Those will be our top 3 for the podium. See Sam Swan. He's going to hold on to P10. He'll take the invert pole position. Joseph Maher was able to hold off Jonathan Cooper. Also Abraham not too far behind them. Kent Kruger just outside of the top 10. Carrick Ball, Dan Elgin, and Sean Giroux. Sean holding off Brian Ewalt. He'll bring it home P17. Michael Harnley, Tyler Nevins had a nice run to the line.
Good race, guys.
Dylan Furlong's going to bring it home in P25, just ahead of Thomas Wright and Derek
Fast,
Tyndall.
Dan. I'm not sure I could have got around you very easily.
And then we get
Not that
into
little
our
mistake
rest of our field, who did not see the line, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the story of my life, Ken. I got to fix those little mistakes.
Okay, we're just waiting for Thomas Wright to cross.
Looks to me like your rears were starting to go right because I saw you sliding around more
Thomas
corners.
has crossed. We're just waiting for our results to go official while we do that. See what happened to Andrew McMurray here at the end. Andrew had a strong run going in that Taco Bell car. Let's see what happened to him. It's on the final lap. Oh, he just misses the braking point for the hairpin. Which one of us? Sure, I think we caught this one. Yeah. Benjamin Syke, I believe we caught this one too as well. Yeah, that was it. A fairly uneventful heat race for incidents. So our race has gone official now. Let's take a look at the final results. As we saw, Chaz Sosnowski brings it home in P1. 8 tenths over Justin Hall in P2. Brian Zinn rounds out the podium. Kurt Moss finishes P4. Corey Mitchell brings it home in 5th. Brian Lemke, Ron Bykoff in 6th and 7th. Rounding out your top 10, we got Tony Phillip, Joshua Soto, and Sam Swan. In 11th, Joseph Maher, and 12th, Jonathan Cooper brings it home. 13th place goes to Russell Abraham, 14th to Kent Kruger, 15th to Carrick Ball, 16th to Dan Elgin. Then we had Sean Giroux in 17th, Brian Ewalt in 18th. Behind him, we had Michael Harney finishing 19th, rounding out the top 20, Tyler Nevins. In 21st, Benjamin Syke, 22nd, Adrian Adams. 23rd, we see Greg Brockway. 24th brings it home for Craig Tessiter. 25th goes to Dylan Furlong. In 26th gets Derek Tyndall. 27th goes to Thomas Wright. 28th to Andrew McMurray. Then we get into our lap down cars. Kelly Greenhoe, Vincent Wood, Donald Mensing, Mitch Buenaventura, Troy Banks, Ismail Sierra all did not see the checker flag. Better luck to them next time. We have heat rate or 10-minute warm up between heat number 2. So we will be back in roughly about 8 minutes or so.
Yeah, something funky was going on there when I let the leaders go by. Justin was blinking just a tiny bit too, but it wasn't like a normal blink. It was weird.
Okay, we're back. We're still in the midst of the warm-up between the heats. So we got about 2 minutes to go in the warm-up, 2 minutes to go. And then we'll have the full pace lap, so we're just going to duck out again for another few minutes, and we'll be back as we're getting gridded up and ready to go for heat number 2. Okay, our drivers are heading back to the grid. Just waiting for a few more guys to hit the grid, and then we'll begin our pace lap for heat number 2.
Nope.
Again, another 20-minute dash for points.
Hey.
As we get down to the nitty-gritty of the season. 4 weeks left to go after tonight. 8 more races for our drivers to try and accumulate some points. Catch that racer just ahead of them, if at all possible. Okay, let's take a quick look at our grid here while our drivers are pacing around. Sam Swan gets the lucky P10 invert position. He'll start on pole for heat number 2. He'll have Josh Soto to his outside. Behind them we'll have Tony Phillips and Roman Bykov. Then we'll have Brian Lemke and Corey Mitchell in P5 and P6. Kurt Moss and Brian Zinn take up P7 and 8.
What you flashing at
Justin
there,
Hall
Donnie boy?
in 9th. Chaz Nostowski in 10th. Our winner from heat number 1.
I'm trying to figure out why my wheel randomly keeps disconnecting.
Joseph Marr
Like, last
and
race I was
Jonathan
in the
Cooper
back.
make up rows 6,
I don't like
11th and
switching
12th.
sides between
And
races.
essentially the
I
rest
learned
of our field,
how
as
to
we just
use
went
that
through,
other
will
side to
start
my
in their
advantage. Now this one,
finishing
I
position.
gotta
We'll just
figure
scroll
it out.
through them quickly.
Yes. I just switched sides at the start. No one will mind if you cut across in front of them.
So again, our drivers do get full points for each race.
Just take it slow till you get
It's
it figured out.
it's not half points. It is a full points race each race. So
It's worth a try.
anybody who had a rough race in heat number 1, they've got a chance
Frankly, I'm
here
gonna
to
use
try
you as
and
a,
recoup their
bumper.
this time.
yeah, but you're my extra 4 tires going into turn 1.
Let's take a quick look at the track temps here, see if their
Go to the end of the
track
line,
has
you can go to the
changed
side
at
you
all
want.
since heat 1. We're still holding steady about 76 degrees Fahrenheit, down 1 degree from earlier. But look at that track temp. We're at 110 in qualifying, then 106 in heat 1. We're down to 93 degrees Fahrenheit in heat number 2. So our drivers will be a little easier to manage their tires, although 93 is still scorching hot out there, but it's definitely a welcome change from the 106 we saw in heat number 1.
Track just don't give you any downtime.
Okay, the drivers are heading into the final few corners here now before they head into the back stretch to start us off in heat number 1.
I feel that, Kelly.
See if
That 20 minutes did go fast.
Chaz Sosowski and Justin Hall will be able to move their way up through the field. They were the fastest 2 drivers in heat number 1 by a large portion, so see if they're able to work their way back through heat number 2. They've got 8 cars ahead of them to do it. It's a little easier when you're starting from the front to maintain that position. When you're having to make your way around from the back, a little more difficult. Drivers heading into Sunset Curve, the final corner, also the most difficult corner on the track here. Taking a ton of speed when you're coming in here in race conditions. It's probably the bumpiest corner on the track too as well, so they got to try and manage their throttle pedal the best they can. All right, here we go. We're just waiting for the green flag. There it is, run away. Looks like Sam Swan isn't going to get an optimum start. He's going to have Josh Soto and Tony Phillips on either side, flanking him into turn 1. Looks like so far so good. Our field getting through there. Looks like Sam Swan was able to fight back through the middle, maintain P1, although he's got Josh Soto and Tony Phillips tucked in right behind him. Looking real racy between them. See a couple of drivers going wide into the kitty litter on the outside. Kent Cooley was one of them. Kent was able to collect it up. He's got Russell Abraham on his inside as they head down into the hairpin for the first time. Battle of the late breakers. Looks like Kent's going to outbrake Russell to maintain that spot. Looks like our field accordioned up in the hairpin section there. Everybody had to get on the binders not to wreck the guy in front of them. So far, so good. Brian's in up 3 spots so far on lap 1. Currently sitting in 5th spot. He's one of our top 5 champion positions right now. Or sorry, he's in the top 5 in our championship right now. Eating my tongue on that one, but currently sitting in top 5 so far this race. He's trying to accumulate some points over Kurt Moss. He's finished ahead of him in race number 1. He's currently ahead of him right now in race number 2. So we see Kurt Moss here riding on board with him, currently in P7. Just behind them, we've got Murderous Motorsports. Corey Mitchell down 2 spots. It's a bit of a slower start for Corey here. He's got Chad Sosnowski, Heat 1 winner, latched onto his back bumper. Chad will be trying to use that draft the best he can as they head into Sunset Corner for the first time. I think Corey's going to move through there fairly smooth. A little bit of bumpiness on the outside, on the exit of Sunset. Corey takes it wide, almost up into the barriers, managed to hold on to it. See if Chad attempts a maneuver into turn 1. Not quite close enough to make a move yet this time by.
Where are we going there, Brian?
Kurt Moss going a little wide ahead, kicking up some dirt.
I mean, I'm against the wall. I can't go any further to the left there. Showed my nose the entire way down there.
It's like Zinn and Phillips. A little discussion on the radio about what's going on. Sosnowski now falling back a little bit. He's got Justin Hall trying to catch him. Oh no, something happened to Thomas Wright here. Let's see if we can catch what happened to Thomas Wright in the blue Ferrari here. Is he just going to lose it coming into the S's? Back into that Ferrari going to come around? Oh no, Kelly Greenhoe was sideways in the middle of the track. Nowhere for Thomas Wright or Donald Mensing to go. Let's see what happened to Kelly Greenhoe to cause all this. Kelly in the yellow BMW, looks like he's racing with McMurray on the outside. Kelly tries to stuff it inside. That BMW just gets a little loose. Onto the grass he goes. Tries to bring it back on track, just spins around. Oh, and unfortunately, Mensing and Wright nowhere to go. It's unfortunate for them, but back to our guys still in the race. Sosnowski still trying to find a way around Mitchell, although he's closed up on the back bumper. They're heading down into Sunset again. Corey trying to find a line to fight off Sosnowski. Two different lines heading into Sunset there. Corey takes the tighter line. It's like Chad takes the wider line. Corey's going to hold on to it for now, but Chad might get the better run coming into turn 1. We'll have to see how it plays out. Not quite close enough for Chad to make a move into turn 1. Oh, you hear Corey rubbing off the wall there. Using every inch of the track he can find. Let's go back up to our leaders here. Currently, Josh Soto in second spot, still trying to chase down Sam Swan. And Roman Bykov up 1 spot into P3. Top 3 broken away a little bit from P4, Tony Phillips. Tony now sitting about 1.5 seconds back of Roman Bykov in 4th position.
Sorry, Andrew, as well. I don't think he did anything wrong there.
Phillips having to deal with Brian Zinn lurking on his back bumper. So Brian thought about trying to shoot the nose up on the inside there. Tony comes across. See if Brian can take the crossover, make it work. Oh, he looks on the inside, has to hammer on the brakes not to get into the quarter panel of Tony Phillips. Meanwhile, Brian Lemke watching this all go on behind him, just itching for something to happen between them and just snatch away that spot. And go on board with Lemke as he watches this battle up ahead of him.
And it's another to just park it on the apex.
Sounds like Zinn and Phillips are still going at it out there.
I'm on the racing line.
As we head into the Le Mans curve for completion of lap number 3.
You cut the corner.
So things have settled down a little bit between them. Championship leader Kurt Moss just right behind this battle too as well, ready to pounce if something were to happen. So we go a little farther back, we got Russell Abraham and Kent Kruger battling again. We saw them nose to tail most of heat number 1. And guess what? They're still going at it in heat number 2.
My race is up the road.
Kent trying to hold off Russell Abraham right in behind them. We've got Dan Elgin. And Dan looking to catch up to the back of them, make it a 3-car battle for P13. Kent currently holding down 13th spot. He'd love to keep on to it. Just ahead of them, we've got Jonathan Cooper and Joseph Marr battling. We saw Coop trying to chase down Joseph in heat number 1. Looks like he's gotten around him in heat number 2. Now it's Joseph's turn to try and chase down Jonathan. Ahead of them, we got Justin Hall and Chad Sosnowski. I'm surprised we haven't seen any more forward motion between these two. Chad, our Heat 1 winner, Justin Hall, P2 in Heat 1. We've kind of mired back here between Corey Mitchell. Corey doing a fantastic job holding them off so far. I can't help but think maybe he's the cork in the bottle keeping these guys from advancing forward, but just ahead of them, we've got that battle still going on between Zinn, Phillips, Lemke, Moss. Now that pack of Mitchell, Sosnowski, and Hall have caught up in the back end of it now. We've now got about a 7-car train for P4. Zinn gets around Phillips. We'll see if he's able to pull away. We heard them bickering on the radio. We'll see if Phillips was holding Zinn up or it was just a matter of them being very closely matched on time. Let's go strolling back through our field a little bit here. Adrian Adams, I believe, was a new name we saw last week. Adrian had a bit of a rough race. Looks like he's doing a little better out there tonight. Up 4 spots currently in heat number 2. Up into 18th spot. He's got Brian Ewald just ahead of him in that blue BMW. They're battling for 17th spot. They're not quite out of touch of that battle up ahead. See Dan Elgin, Carrick Ball, Russell Abraham, Kent Kruger. That battle just ahead for... That's the tail end of that battle for P4, believe it or not. It stretches all the way back to about 14th spot. A little further back in the field, we got Mitch Bonaventura and Ismail Sierra battling it out. It's currently for P24 right now. Ismail holding it down in that BMW. Mitch trying to take it away in the gray Porsche as they head into turn 1. They've got Dylan Furlong in that green and purple Ferrari up ahead. Oh, Dylan gets a little squirrely. Ismail's taking evasive action. They head into the S's. Dylan going a little wide. Ismail looking to capitalize on the inside. Ismail's going to have the inside line. Dylan tries to gather up, get on the throttle. He loses the back end of it. Ismail's going to take that spot. They're going to head down into the hairpin. Let's see if Dylan can make a move. Mitch Bonaventura thinking about making a move on the backside of that gray Porsche. Sierra's going to go wide. Bonaventura looks to the inside. Can't quite get the throttle down soon enough. Furlong and Bonaventura are going to battle into the next corner. It's going to be the battle of the late breakers here. We'll see who can pull it off. Vincent Wood trying to get involved too. Oh, Andrew McMurray comes in. Taps a couple bumpers, but everybody manages to stay on track. I don't know how that happened. For sure, I thought somebody was going off there, but they're still battling 4 wide here into... Oh, Tower Furlong gives McMurray a little tap. Bonaventura goes wide. Keeps it off the wall. He'll gather it back up and keep going, but that's going to drop him out of that battle. Go back up front here and check on this battle for P4. Zinn managing to open up a bit of a gap over Phillips now, 7/10. Tony Phillips now having to hold off Brian Lemke behind him for 6th spot. Jonathan Cooper starting to pull away from Joseph Marr. Coop trying to chase down Justin Hall and Sosnowski, who are still mired in P9 and 10 out there. This is surprising. These guys had some speed in Heat 1. I thought for sure they'd at least move through a few positions here early on to start, but they are still mired behind Corey Mitchell in this train battling it out for P5 right now. Corey trying to put some pressure on our championship leader, Kurt Moss. Corey tucked into the back bumper now. Let's see if he can make a move. Oh, he's pushing him down the short straight into the hairpin. Looks like Kurt manages to gather it up. Corey, I think, was hoping he was going to help him blow his braking point and be able to snatch away that position, but Kurt says, not so fast, young fella, not so fast. I don't know, maybe Kurt's younger than him. I don't know. I'm going here. He's calling him young fella. That's what I got. I'm pegging Kurt as a wily veteran.
That was a good save.
Looks like Kent Kruger on the mic there had a nice save. Russell Abraham might have had a pretty good view of that one. As they rage their battle on for 13th spot. Dan Elgin still lurking in behind, although Dan looks like he's closed up on the back of Russell Abraham, as no doubt Russ had to check up to avoid Kent for whatever issue he had earlier on. Dan looking to the outside of Russ. Russ able to fight him off on the inside. See if Elgin's able to get the power down on the outside. He's going to have to hold on to P15 for now. He's got Carrick Ball lurking behind him. Carrick in that white and red BMW, trying to find any opportunity he can to move on to the inside. Dan Elgin's going to go wide. Carrick's going to try and look to the inside. Carrick should have the advantage into the next corner. It's like Dan Elgin's going to bail and give it to him. He'll try and fight back another day. Oh, he fights back on the curb already. Carrick holds on to it though. Carrick gets up on the curb. That's going to push him a little wide.
Scared me, Russell. I thought you were coming back out on the track.
See if Dan's able to make a move as they come around the corner into the hairpin here. Dan's looking to the inside. Can he outbrake Carrick? He's tucking it in deep. Carrick's able to get the power on a little sooner though. He's going to hold on to that spot. As these two battle though, Kent Kruger and Russell Abraham are able to pull away. Dan trying to fight back again though. He's not giving up yet. He's going to have the inside line here. He's going to take that spot back. A little bit of argy-bargy, but he's going to do it. They've got Adrian Adams joining the back of this battle now. As he and Brian Ewald seeing what's going on up there, they say, we want to get a part of that. Let us in. That's fun. We want in there. Adrian rocking the Gulf Porsche colors. So they're going to head into Le Mans corner before they head onto the back straight. Oh, you see Adrian looking to the inside there. Doesn't quite get the drive off that corner that he needed. Check back in up front. Sam Swanson leading the way, although these three cars up front, they've opened up a 4-second gap over P4, but there's still only about a couple tenths between them. Looks like they've all decided just to kind of stay tucked in here, try and open up that gap the best they can. Roman Bykov sitting in third. Josh Soto holding down P2. Sam Swan still our leader from start to 15 minutes into this one. Brian's in trying to chase them back, but he's still 3.5 seconds back of this battle. Brian Lemke's gotten around Tony Phillips. Brian up into P5. Tony now is going to have to try and hold that battle of Corey Mitchell, Sosnowski, and Justin Hall off behind him. That's going to be a tough ask. Those guys are showing some top speed out there tonight. You see Corey with Sosnowski and Hall behind him. We'll go a little farther back. You see our championship contender, Kurt Moss. He's now having to deal with Jonathan Cooper. Coop's going to dive up to the inside. See if Coop can make it stick. Kent trying to get through there. Kent loses his front bumper. Oh no. That's not what we wanted to see out of the big dog. That's going to drop Kurt Moss back. Kent now racing with no front bumper. That's going to cause him some aero issues on the front straight. I don't imagine he knows he's got no front bumper yet. Kurt Moss goes a little wide. Russ Abraham trying to capitalize to as well, trying to take over P13. Russ is going to get around. This is surprising to see our championship leader, Kurt Moss, struggling tonight.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Oh, looks like Kent's going to pull off. Not sure if he got a slowdown through there or not.
I think I'm good.
Kent's pulling off. That's going to move Russell Abraham up into 12th. He's got championship leader Kurt Moss. Dan Elgin behind him. Dan recovering after that battle. We just saw him and Carrick have rage on for about 4 or 5 corners. They were able to close that gap back up once the 3 or 4 cars ahead of them started banging around. Now this is a battle for 12th spot, led off by Russell Abraham. It's like Dan Elgin thinking about making a move on Kurt Moss on the inside of turn 1. Dan's going to have the preferred line. Oh, Kurt gets a little squirrely. They touch. Oh no, Dan Hogan off into the wall. That's unfortunate for him. Kurt Moss is going to keep going. I don't think there was anything malicious in that. It looked like Kurt just got a little squirrely trying to maintain the outside position. A little squirrely, and they tapped, and off he went. Getting down to the final 2:45 to go in this one. Everybody's leaving everything left out on the track. Whatever they got left in that tire underneath them, they're using up. Once again, we got a battle going here between Jonathan Cooper and Joseph Maher. These guys battling for P10. Tony Phillips holding off Mitchell, Sosnowski, and Hall so far. Tony fight for all it's worth. He's going to go a little wide in the kitty litter. Corey's going to try and capitalize on that. And jump on board with Corey. He's going to try and take the inside line here. Set himself up for the inside of Le Mans in the back stretch. See if Corey's able to capitalize. He's got the inside line. Tony going to try and fight back on the outside. It's drag race now as they head down the back stretch towards Sunset. See who can hold off who. 3 wide as they're going to head into Sunset. This probably isn't going to fare real well. Corey takes the spot. Sosnowski getting a little squirrely in Sunset. He's going to gather it up. That might give Justin Hall the opportunity to go by. Mitch is going to take over P6. Chad Sosnowski gathered it back up, was able to not lose a spot. 1:20 to go. This is going to be the final lap. The last chance they've got to make a move. Corey trying to make that Audi as wide as he can. We see Justin Hall going wide. Tony Phillips, Chad Sosnowski trying to find any spot they can slip their bumper in there, put a little pressure on Corey. Oh, Justin Hall off track again. He's into the grass. It's unfortunate for him. He had a strong run going here tonight. Couldn't quite put both heats together from start to finish. Corey Mitchell still holding off Tony Phillips. Check back in with our leaders here as the gap's closed up. Josh Soto closed a little bit on the back of Sam Swans to that final corner. Sam able to get the power on, open that gap back up. Josh taking a tighter line into Tower Corner. You see Brian Zinn in the background there. He's closed down that gap, but he's not going to be anywhere near close enough to make a move on the final lap here. Barring any issues, Sam Swan should be able to bring this one home. Josh Soto trying to hold off a final lap charge from Roman Bykoff. Roman able to close that gap up tightly as they head into Le Mans corner. Final run down the back stretch. As they're going to head towards Sunset Curve. We'll see if Roman makes a move or if he's just going to hold tight. Take that P3. Sam Swan going to lead them around the final corner. Roman tucked in tight. He's going to try and make the move. He can get the power on. Josh is going to hold him off. That's your P123. Sam Swan, Josh Soto, Roman Bykoff. Check back in. Tony Phillips, Corey Mitchell. Corey goes a little wide.
Tried missing that.
Chad Sosnowski is going to get around Tony Phillips in the final corner. Take over P7. Russell Abrahams. Oh, Russell almost gets around Joseph Maher at the line. Jonathan Cooper fell back a little bit on that last lap. I'll have to see if something happened to Cooper.
Nice race, guys. Nice race. Nice win, man.
See Vincent Wood, Derek Tyndall heading to the line. Drag race for them. Vincent's going to take P23. Kent Kruger is going to bring it back across the lane. He must have ducked in for his quick repair. He's got the bumper back on. Donald Mensing nursing home that Mercedes we saw him tangle with Kelly Greenhoe earlier on. See the front end of that car. Not so aerodynamic as it was when it started out. Greg Brockway and Justin Hall has parked it. So Greg Brockway will be your final car on the lead lap here. Once he brings it across the line, we should be able to get an update on our standings. Okay, looks like our podium positions have already taken their photo, so we won't catch them. Okay, let's take a look at our feature results here as our final driver has just crossed the line.
Who's ready for GTPs now?
Okay, as we saw, Sam Swan brings it home pole to pole in heat number 2. Josh Soto and Roman Bykoff round out the podium. In P4, Brian Zinn. P5, Brian Lemke. In P6, Corey Mitchell. 7th goes to Chad Sosnowski. 8th to Tony Phillips. 9th to Joseph Marr. Russell Abraham brings home the final spot in the top 10, followed by Jonathan Cooper. Carrick Ball brings it home 12th. In 13th, we got Brian Ewald. 14th goes to Adrian Adams. 15th to Tyler Nevins. 16th to Benjamin Syke.
Josh,
17th to Ismail Sierra.
I was sweating the entire
18th goes to Sean Giroux. And then we've got 19th goes to Andrew McMurray, followed by Michael Harney rounding out the top 20.
Oh yeah, man, you did a great
Dan
job.
Elgin brings it home 21st. Vincent Wood in 22nd. Derek Tyndall with the 23rd spot. Kent Kruger in 24th. Kurt Moss in 25th. Rough
Thank you.
night for
Had me
Kurt
scared
Moss.
most of the time.
Dylan Furlong in 26th. Thomas Wright brings it home 27th. Donna Mensing in 28th. Greg Brockway in 29th. And then we get into our lap down drivers who didn't see the checkered flag this time by. Better luck
Yeah,
next
Tony,
time.
I just looked at the lap prior to the one
Okay.
when I said that you were parking on the Apex and you were like
Let's-
9 miles an hour faster than the lap that we had the.
Let's
the
go take a
issue.
look at the incidents we had. So
it did seem like you were way slow coming
First
through
up,
that corner,
it's like
even though
Kurt
you were on the
Moss.
racing line.
Oh, he just flagged for slow on the
No
start.
worries, Brian. It
Let's
was all
get
just hard racing. It was just intense out there. I was struggling with this car, so
let's get a little further
I was
on.
struggling. I looked at that character, and I gave you a game, but
Past the green flag. Here we go. Looks like Craig Tester's first one up on our
just
naughty list. Say happened to Craig in that black and yellow BMW up ahead.
Yeah,
So they go 3 wide on turn 1. Oh man. It all gets collected up there.
seeing cars move over in front of me heading into the brakes. I think,
See if we can
imminent death and I have
take
to take
another
avoiding
look
action.
at that
Actually,
from
there's probably a little bit more room.
chopper cam. See if we can try and figure out what happened. Craig in that black and yellow BMW. It's like he in the 52 or 62. Greg Brockway just going to tangle a little bit. It's going to spin Tesla around. Thankfully, they didn't really collect anybody else there.
Yeah, like you said, it was hard.
Could have been a lot worse than how it worked out.
Hysterics
Thomas
in the
Wright
moment, so good job.
was just following along this one. I think
appreciate it.
Thomas just comes to a stop here, but we'll see that action going on ahead of him. See the BMW spinning up ahead, and then we got nothing but a roadblock. Thomas does the smart thing, slows down. Mitch Bonaventura had to take some evasive action to avoid that one. He and Vincent Wood up onto the grass. Kelly Greeno, we reviewed this one earlier. We'll take another look. Tries to set it up the inside of McMurray. The car gets squirrely up on the curb. Around it goes. Kelly tries to get back on track, and he gets that amazing iRacing. We're going to send you on the track and just spin you again after you just spun. It's unfortunate for Kelly and two guys that unfortunately got into him. But one of them, Thomas Wright. As Thomas comes around the corner, unfortunately, that's just happened to be when Kelly spins back around in front of him. He and Donald Menson with nowhere to go. Let's take a ride in the cockpit with Donald here and see what he saw as he came around the corner. These two guys just minded their business here, and then ka-chow! Hello! An unfortunate set of circumstances there for them. Looks like Brian Ewald had a bit of an off track here heading into turn 1. Let's see what happened here for him. He sends it out wide into the sandy stuff, making a little sand cast on the way by, but he He's able to collect it up. No real harm there. Looks like Dylan Furlong might have followed him out there in the same corner. Let's see. Almost a carbon copy of what we just saw with Brian Ewald. Can Sean Drew make it 3 for 3? Nope. Let's see what happens to Sean here. Oh, McMurray just spins ahead of him. Sean has taken some evasive action. I don't know how those 5 cars did not collect Andrew McMurray there when he spun. That is some amazing avoidance there by those 5 cars. See Michael Harney here in the Roxy Pinks. Oh, he's up on the curb, bouncing around. It's going to send him off a little bit, heading down the back stretch. Manages to keep it from spinning. Nice save there by Michael Harney. And see what happened to Donald Mensing. Donald trying to nurse that Mercedes home with the banged up front end. Sends it deep into turn 2. Has to collect it there. Keeps it off the wall. Nice recovery by Donald. Let's see what happened to Mitch putting insurance flag in. Oh, we saw this. Mitch is going to he gets slightly locks up the left front as the bail into tower turn. Keeps it off the wall though. Able to live and fight on later on that one. Not sure if this is the same incident here for Mitch. Oh, looks like another separate incident. Heading into Sunset Curve. Is he going to lose the back end? Is he getting squirrely, getting a little wide? Oh, just tags that wall. Let's see what happens to Josh Soto heading into turn 1. That was our P2 finisher. A drop. Oh, 4-wheel slide. A little Lamborghini Rally heritage onto that one. Manages to keep a spot. Oh, he jumps the curb again, just using and abusing the bottom side of that car. See what happens to Dan Elgin here into turn 1. Possibly a carbon copy of what we just saw happen to Josh Soto. Out into the grass, makes a sandcastle, brings it back on. A couple of number 11s in the sand, and away he goes. We saw that battle between he and Carrick for a few corners. Something else happened to Donald Mensing here. Just Mercedes just looking angry after. It's not happy out there at all. Don just trying to nurse it back. Kent Kruger. Oh, we saw Kent go off track. It didn't show us what happened to Kent beforehand. Let's see if we can go back a little bit, try and find this battle. This is the battle we saw in these 5 cars. I believe Kent sends it in deep. Oh, gets in the back of Coop. That's what happened there. Let's see if we can go on more cockpit view with Kent on this one. Not sure, did he not? Can you not see the braking point yet? Oh, he just lost track of where he was. Tried to bail out. Oh, right in the back of Coop's car. I'm surprised Cooper didn't get any more damage than what he did out of that one. As we see, the front bumper is missing on Kent's car. Accurate. Who was driving that Porsche? Happens to the best of us. Vincent Wood. Let's see what happened to Vincent Wood. I think we saw this battle. He's chasing down Michael Harney up ahead. I think Vince just gets loose heading into the section here where they touch. Oh, it sends a little door bang off Harney, but the old iRacing physics kicks in and decides that the car needs to go for a 360 spin there. Dan Elgin, Kurt Moss. Oh yeah, we saw this battle. Bumping and banging here. Unfortunately, Dan was the recipient of some poor iRacing physics on that one. Let's take another look at that from the. Let's take a look at it from the chopper cam here. Hold on. not much they can do with that. That was just poor physics by iRacing here tonight. Let's see, we got any other flags here? Dana is coming back on track from that incident. Is this another one? I think that's the same one. Dan just getting turned around. Mike Harney. What happened to Mike Harney here? Heading into Le Mans curve. Up on the curb. Way out into the grass. Bike off. Roman's going to send it wide into the brown stuff. Keeps it gathered up. And we saw Justin Hall pull off and retire. He had enough at that point. Calls it a day. That was it. That was the checker flag from there. So all in all, a couple fairly clean races tonight. Couple whoops moments, but for the most part, the incidents that we saw were all I'd say just poorly generated physics by iRacing's behalf on tonight. I wish they would work on that between being door to door with somebody and you tap doors and for some reason one of the cars is going to spin to where you're the trailing car and you tap the rear bumper of the car ahead of you, but for some reason they got to send the trailing car into a full-on 360 spin. I don't understand where they're getting their physics calculations for that stuff, but if they could fix that stuff up, I would say the door-to-door racing should be relatively exciting and much better. So we saw these three battle nose to tail pretty much the whole race, but that'll do it for here at Sebring. Where we head next week? Next week is off to Mugello. Oh, a new track next week. Mugello. Be interesting to see who of our drivers put in the practice time. We'll see how that plays out. Could be a great points opportunity for our championship contenders. Let's take a quick look here at our championship contenders. This is, of course, going to be... Oh, actually, I need to reload it in, so we'll update that for next week. But we had a look at it earlier on. Kurt Moss came in as the leader. He had a fairly healthy gap. I don't see anybody chasing him down after this week, but our rest of the top five were only separated by a few hundred points here and there, so could see some moving and shaking between them depending how they finished, but we'll see who shows up next week in Mugello. Could be a good points opportunity as it's a new track, and sometimes new tracks have lower turnout, so points night, if you're in the championship hunt and listening to this, next week is the one you want to get at. That's your points night race. We will see you then. Bye for now.